Good morning, dear devotees, our obeisances to everybody. We're happy to welcome you again here to West London, Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Math in the Bhakti Yoga Institute. And we have our wonderful Srila Bhakti Madhusudan Maharaj here today. We will be continuing our study of Sri Upadesamrta, 11 verses by Srila Rupa Goswami. And Maharaj said to us yesterday that we'll be taking our rocket ship to the spiritual world today. So hopefully everybody is ready and enthusiastic. And we will offer our obeisances first to our gurus and then invite Maharaj to take over the class. Jai Vishwabhad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govindadev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Jai Vishwabhad Srila Bhakti Rakak Sriladev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada ki Jai. Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada ki Jai. Shri Rupa Nuga Guru Radha ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki Jai. Nantakoti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Jai. All the assembled devotees and all the worldwide devotees ki Jai. Srila Bhaktivanjan Madhusudan Maharaj ki Jai.
Good morning from London. So yes, Kalikadamba has given introduction. Today we're going to go to the spiritual world as promised yesterday, because you've all done your revision, you've got your launching pad ready. Now we're going to journey to beyond outer space. So we've got the backing of the scripture, we've got the backing of the sadhu for all of this journey, and Jai Shri Gurudev, Shri Bhakti Kṛṣṇa Govindadev Swami Maharaj ki Jai, Jai Shri Guru Maharaj, Shri Bhakti Dev Swami Maharaj ki Jai. This is for their neck, but my neck is here. So welcome. So we come straight to the Upadeśāmṛta. So Jai Shri Upadeśāmṛta ki Jai. And Jai, its author Srila Rupa Goswami ki Jai, the very head of our Sampradaya. So we've come to verse number 9. It's on the board, maybe it's on your screen. And we'll say slowly together the Sanskrit of this verse, and then we will discuss a little bit of that content. So verse 9, Upadeśāmṛtam, slowly together. Vaikuṇṭhāj janito varā, madhupurī tatrāpi rāsotsavād. Vṛndāraṇyam udāra-pāṇi-ramaṇāt tatrāpi govardhanaḥ. Rādhā Kuṇḍa ihāpi gokula-pateḥ premāmṛtāplāvanāt. Kuryād asya virājato giri-taṭe sevāṁ vivekī. So here we have the translation, one translation as given in the book that we have of Upadeśāmṛta. And his translation is, higher than Vaikuṇṭha is Mathurā, where Kṛṣṇa took birth. Higher therein is Vṛndāvan, where Kṛṣṇa enjoys the Rāsa Dance. Higher therein is Govardhan, where Kṛṣṇa plays amorously. And higher than Govardhan is Rādhā Kuṇḍa, where the nectar of Kṛṣṇa's prema overflows. Would any wise soul not serve Rādhā Kuṇḍa at the base of Govardhan Hill? Hare Kṛṣṇa. And then I see on our sheets that you have at home digitally, that I have in paper in front of me, that in this verse, Srila Rupa Goswami has summarized a gradation, a hierarchy of development. And how does the gradation with the environment develop from down to up? So this is the first paragraph, and the question arises. So this verse is about the gradation of as we can consider the places, the environments. And in this world, there are different places, different environments. There is Murmansk in the north of Russia, which is extremely cold and where they have night lasting for 4 months and day lasting for 4 months like this. And then you have Hawaii, which is in a tropical area and famed for like the beauty of all the nature, the heat, no snow, no cold, only a perfect temperature. So in this world, you've got North Pole, you've got the equator, you've got all kinds of environments, living environments also. So also we are informed from the Vedas, the books of knowledge. We are informed that this universe has got higher planets and lower planets. And when we look out in the sky at night, when you're somewhere with a clear sky, then we can understand so much is out there in the universe, and man is trying to find out what is there in various ways. But the Vedas tell us that there are higher planetary systems where people have longer life, more sense gratification, more fulfilling lives going upwards. And there are lower planetary systems where the residents have a tougher life, more suffering and less enjoyment. Their lives are shorter, all kinds of differences in qualities materially within a universe. And the universe is a hollow ball, half filled with water, and then the lower planetary systems, middle planetary systems, upper planetary systems. But everything within the universe, from Lord Brahma down to the lowest living entity, to the most insignificant living entity, in all forms of life here, there is birth and death. It is all temporary. So the hollow of the universe is where we are, but beyond this universe, there is a great river, the Viraja River, which is the demarcation between the mundane, the temporary worlds where people are trying to enjoy themselves separate from Kṛṣṇa and getting reaction, action and reaction in the separate world. And then in the Vaikuṇṭha, so beyond that Viraja River, on the other side, is the spiritual sky. And the spiritual sky, that is populated, if you like, by the spiritual planets. Now, at the moment, we only have experience with our senses, so we are always thinking materially about a solid lump of rock with people living on it. That's a planet, different planets. But we have to think out of the box. Yesterday, was it Srila Guru Maharaj, when we were watching, he said, do not put Kṛṣṇa in a box. I remember the phrase, I don't remember exactly who said it. Yesterday we heard this. So we can't also put Vaikuṇṭha into the box of our brain, because Vaikuṇṭha means without limit. But those from the other side of the river Viraja and to the planets populating that plane, that is all transcendental. There is no mud as we know it there. Everything is transcendental. And so there, just as here, there is gradation. And gradation means everything is perfect, but then there is more perfect. There is most perfect, there is extremely most perfect, there is infinitely, extremely most perfect. And in this way, there is gradation in the upper world. And actually, Sanatana Goswami, he revealed the understanding of where we live. It's called Sambandha, the gradation of the material spheres, the gradation of the spiritual spheres, and particularly within the Brihat Bhagavatamritam. Then there is extensive description of the upward journey of a sincere soul aspiring for reality, the beautiful. And this upward journey takes him through those material upper planets within the universe where we live, across out of the universe, across the Viraja, and the upward journey in the spiritual planets. And it's an extensive publication, an extensive book by Sanatana Goswami, but he is describing the various different places and who lives there, the nature of the people, of the residents who live there, going up and up and up and up. And everywhere is amazing. Everywhere is infinite. When we come out of the universe, then we're coming into only purity. There is no self-interest, there is no nastiness, there's no the things we find in this world. And everyone is dedicated to the Lord, to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And within this world, there are many places where people are dedicated to a deva, who are very powerful. They are the lords of the universe, and they can give things to people who are dedicated to them. If you're the managing director of a company and you really favor somebody in your company, you can give them all kinds of bonuses and many things. But that's within the material universes, our self, our desire for myself, I will get happiness, I will get some promotion. That is largely taking place within the material universes. But outside of there is no desire for oneself. The desire is in giving. And Srila Guru Maharaj explains that actually joy, happiness, fulfillment, that comes from giving, not by taking. By taking, we get into loan, which has to be repaid, and we must go down. By giving, then we are entering the plane of a special kind of joy, a special kind of joy, even though not looking for joy. We are giving ourselves. And in that giving process, then we are allowed to go to a better place. After all, we have to be allowed to go there. We cannot say we can push ourselves into the womb of a demigod, where we go when we die. We are being taken to the next birth. We cannot force anything. So we always rely on grace of those who are above us. And the giving process brings us into higher association, virtuous project activity will take us to a virtuous place. And when virtue becomes into the plane of dedication to Kṛṣṇa, or dedication to God, actual God, Vishnu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that takes us to the joyful, eternal land of fulfillment of Vaikuṇṭha and the Vaikuṇṭha planets. Awake, not dying, not fearful, nothing of the kind, but fully awake and living a fulfilling life, using activity in service to the Lord. Entrance level of the Vaikuṇṭha area is very much, and it is Vaikuṇṭha, it is unlimited, with unlimited living entities. Then entrance level, we can say, is worshipping the glorious, majestic Narayan, Lord Vishnu, and then so many kinds of worship, but worship with awe and reverence. And this naturally we can feel, what a wonderful plane to live, where there is great opulence for everybody. By that worship, by that self-giving and selflessness in activities to put Vishnu at the center, then natural opulence is coming to everyone. So all of the devotees are living in a very opulent way, the Lord is living in an opulent way, and by giving heart, then the heart is being opulent in the service of Lord Vishnu. But Sanatana Goswami has described in Sri Brihad Bhagavatamritam the steps that a sincere seeker who has the seed of Kṛṣṇa Prema, the highest, he's got some touch by the grace of his guru. He's got some touch with Goloka Vṛndāvan, with love, beauty, sweetness only, rather than only like the majestic side. And so Gopakumar, he reaches some plane, some level in the spiritual Vaikuṇṭha area, and he's been given entrance and very happy. He's so happy to be in such association, but then feels still some unfulfillment. And then, translation. Okay, translators put in a little message. They've got to slow down. Okay, we've got a long way to go. That's
super wonderful what you're saying. It's hard to slow down, but
okay, we slow down. We've got a long way to go. And actually, as they say in America, cutting to the chase, then there is gradation in the Vaikuṇṭha planets. And so here in this verse, we can go through, there's a lot of words in this verse, that's the only thing. But we've got the translation here, where from the Vaikuṇṭha planets, then immediately Srila Guru Maharaj is saying that Rupa Goswami, in his description of the planets, he's jumping straight from Vaikuṇṭha to Mathurā, straight to Mathurā. And by the way, today is Ramachandra's appearance day as we speak. It's Ram Navami, as calculated in the calendar calculation, according to Gurudev, Guru Maharaj, Saraswati Thakur, as used by our Sampradaya. And Ramachandra is God. He is Vishnu Tattva, manifestation of the Lord. And he has his planet, just like each of the manifestations of Vishnu. And we know of the fish incarnation, the tortoise incarnation, the boar incarnation, the dwarf incarnation, and then Parashurama, and onwards all the way through to Kalki, these different incarnations. They all have their own Vaikuṇṭha region, planet, we can say, where the devotees who worship them have them in their heart and worship them where they are living. So Ramachandra has his zone, his planet, and there so many, they are worshipping Ramachandra. So, but Srila Guru Maharaj pointed out that Rupa Goswami, he's jumping straight from Vaikuṇṭha, the entrance into awe and reverence, which Ramachandra, he's a king. He's also got that kingly aspect, which means the general awe and reverence to Ramachandra, with servitorship added, the serving. And Hanuman, of course, is the topmost of his servitors. But crossing straight so many Vaikuṇṭha regions, then Rupa Goswami, he's bringing us to the crux of the journey. He's bringing us straight to Mathurā, even not touching on Dwarka. Kṛṣṇa lives in Dwarka also. He has his plane in Dwarka, his area, his planet, if you like, in Dwarka. And he has his area, his plane in Mathurā, which is where we jump from like Vaikuṇṭha entrance, awe and reverence. We're coming straight to the Kṛṣṇa conception. But Kṛṣṇa in Mathurā, where still he has some grand presence. After all, he came to Mathurā in order to show his grandness in the killing of Kamsa, the king who was there, and demoniac king. And in Mathurā, then Rupa Goswami is given that the principal identification, we can say, with Mathurā is that Kṛṣṇa appeared there. He was born. So here we have Kṛṣṇa with a mother and a father. So this way, Kṛṣṇa is appearing first in his actually four-armed form. He showed a four-armed form to Devaki and to Vasudeva and Devaki, and Kṛṣṇa in that form is known as Vasudeva. But then Kṛṣṇa with Leela was taken to Vṛndāvan, where also Kṛṣṇa was born to Jashoda and Nanda Maharaj. And that Kṛṣṇa and then came into merged into the body of Nanda Maharaj's Kṛṣṇa. This is the understanding that's given in the scripture and explained to us by our masters. But Kṛṣṇa appeared in Mathurā, so this is higher than the Vaikuṇṭha areas. It's the appearance place of Kṛṣṇa. And then comes straight to I have not the translation. And then comes straight to Vṛndāvan. So higher than Vaikuṇṭha is Mathurā, where Kṛṣṇa took his birth. And higher therein is Vṛndāvan. And Mathurā is known Mathurā Mandal. It's an area. And Vaikuṇṭha, so Vaikuṇṭha is an area within, in this translation we've got, and within the infinite area, there is Mathurā. Within the Mathurā area, there is Vṛndāvan, each place being higher in substance than the previous place, higher in quality of the relationship between the devotee and the Lord. So then very briefly and quickly, higher within that area is Govardhan, where Kṛṣṇa plays amorously. And higher than Govardhan, also within that area, is Rādhā Kuṇḍa, where the nectar of Kṛṣṇa's prema overflows. Would any wise soul not serve Rādhā Kuṇḍa at the base of Govardhan Hill? Anyway, yes, I'm reminded we can't say everything about the infinite world, and so I need to just keep the words I say slowly and to express the essential points. But gradation is everywhere, and the gradation where there is, when we live in Hawaii, we live with Hawaii mentality people who go surfing and other things, no doubt. When we live in Murmansk or up there, I've never been to any of these places, so I don't know. But you're going to be living with Eskimos who go fishing and keep warm. I don't know what the difference of the mentality is, but you're going to have the different mentalities in different areas. And so Rupa Goswami in the Upadeśāmṛta is giving a summary of where the gradation within Vaikuṇṭha, the unlimited world. Now, in general, in this world, it seems that if somebody hears about liberation, about being a perfect yogi, like the goal of life, it seems that most people think they're going to drift into a sweet no man's land of just general happiness, and they won't really do anything. They'll just be very happy. But this is a very limited conception of being free from birth and death. Liberation means being liberated from dying. Nobody wants to die. And then nobody wants to take birth again when they're dead. I mean, this whole process of birth and death is very unfortunate. It's an unfortunate situation for an eternal soul that should be joyful to go through. So liberation, to be liberated from death, which is inevitable, and then birth, which is inevitable after death, then to be liberated from that cycle and the little fear or big fear in the background, I have to repay all of these things I've done in this life. Karma. Karma comes to take its demand. And as Srila Guru Maharaj says, nature has the upper hand. Man in the modern world things can exploit nature, but nature has the upper hand. And we must be very careful about nature, not to get entangled in nature. That is only possible by using whatever energy in whatever form comes to us in service to Kṛṣṇa, being a devotee of Kṛṣṇa. And then Krishna's energy is coming back to Kṛṣṇa himself. So liberation generally in this material world means getting free from birth and death and this karma cycle. But just to float and do nothing in the sky, that is a very limited conception, and it is also a temporary conception in the understanding that the living entity has willing, feeling, and thinking. You know it. You, even when you're asleep, there's willing, feeling, thinking. You're alive. And with all of this is activity. So just to stop activity is very artificial. And also, for a living entity, it is not practical. You may have a very deep sleep for some time where you think you've stopped everything, and you wake up in the morning and think, oh, I had a good sleep. But you will wake up in the morning. Try sleeping forever. Not so easy. So going into like just this idea, like a fantasy that I can just float forever doing nothing, is also temporary, even if you're successful. After billions and millions and billions of births trying, you may touch the outer area, the halo of the Lord. So that is far away from the land of the Lord. So the description given here by Rupa Goswami is of the planets, which is our understanding about different areas, different conscious planets, planets of faith, the planets of the Vaikuṇṭha area, which is variegated with life, with living. No birth and death as we know here, not the karma as we know here, but it is all bhakti. We can only enter Vaikuṇṭha by devotion. But then there's grades of devotion. There's grades of devotion which will take us, which will give us different places to participate in that devotion, in reciprocation of the Lord. So we can hear about different places in this world, and we can maybe daydream as children. Maybe we daydream looking at the atlas, looking at the map and thinking, what's life like in Japan? What's life like in Australia? What's life like in the different places? And we can maybe read some book a little bit about that. But what is life like in Vaikuṇṭha? What is life like in Ayodhya, Ramachandra's area, if you like? What is life like in Kṛṣṇa's areas? And that means Mathurā, but coming straight to Vṛndāvan, and then the gradation of life within Vṛndāvan, and many interesting things when we will read the thick book, which you can read slowly at your own pace and catch up with the concepts. And there, in some description about this verse, then I believe it's Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur saying those who from here have any hope to reach the highest quarter there, only those who are following under that guidance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu have any prospect to enter to the higher plane. That means to Vṛndāvan, then Vṛndāvan, the gradation, and the very topmost of all places, Rādhā Kuṇḍa. And Rādhā Kuṇḍa is the Rādhā Kuṇḍa of consciousness. Consciousness means spirit. I mean, spirit kind of frighten people away sometimes, but spirit means consciousness. We are awake, not matter, but spirit. So we are warned everywhere by our masters that what we see with our material eyes, the external things, that this is only a cover over Rādhā Kuṇḍa, which is within, deep within, so deep within that very, very few persons in the whole world can understand that plane. Hare Kṛṣṇa. Okay, we have a microphone clipped on Rasa Moipandita Devi Nasi. So she's going to slow me down and she's going to express something.
We have a question from Jagannath Prabhu.
Jagannath Prabhu, oui.
Oui, bien sûr. In our dedication giving process, is it also okay to be searching after taste?
Definitely. Definitely. And actually, I think on this sheet I was given shortly before I had a quick look. Taste. We are naturally searching for happiness. And Srila Guru Maharaj, in the excerpt which is given on these sheets, Srila Guru Maharaj is mentioning this very point. And so, Prabhu, please do go through the sheet. And maybe Jagannath Prabhu has a book, I don't know, because they are available in Vila Govinda, and you could collect one from there. But Srila Guru Maharaj is explaining that he's saying rasa, ananda. So rasa is a word that doesn't translate into English so readily. And this has been discussed so much with Gurudev, Srila Govinda Maharaj, and with our, brainy, learned Sanskritians and devotees. And finally, really, rasa, which means a mellows taste like this, it can only be expressed by rasa. But Guru Maharaj is saying rasa anandam. It's like the joy that one feels, the happiness, the joy, clean joy that one feels. Everyone is searching for happiness. But then there is quality of happiness. And so we are searching for happiness, no doubt, but then our search comes to this point that in self-giving, we are no longer thinking about the result. I'm doing this to get happiness. It's just, I am doing this, and I want to satisfy the Lord and his devotees. And it's not we're doing something as a decision, or should I do this or should I do that? It's just an automatic flow of wanting to satisfy the Lord. But like a dynamo or like spiritual action and reaction, it comes back. So the energy is coming back as more joy, more happiness for the giver, and more capacity to do deeper service. And so it is ever increasing, and not the kind of happiness that we are, or the method to try to get happiness that we are approaching in this material world. In this material world, all happiness is limited. We're going to have a sudden shock when we have to leave our body. Everything we've got to leave behind. So all those beautiful things we bought are going to bring us happiness, we've left behind. And we're going to be left with our karma and our consciousness, what we've been developing in our mind. So Kṛṣṇa says, according to what one thinks at the time of death, then we'll take that birth, which is why we should always be searching for Sri Kṛṣṇa, reality, the beautiful, the source of all rasa, ananda, and joy. So ananda, rasa, happiness, has its different values, and clean, pure happiness is not temporary. Rather, not only not temporary, it is, as this dynamo example gives, it is ever increasing joy. So Mahaprabhu Mahaprabhu gave this verse through Rupa Goswami, but Mahaprabhu gave also through himself, if you like, the verses of the Shikshastakam, where step by step also what is taking place when we chant the holy name. And the very first verse is saying that then the soul dives and surfaces in the ocean of ecstatic bliss, and then comes to have a personal relationship with the Supreme Lord, getting his own identity in the service plane with the Lord. So it is all happy. We must be trying to go in the direction of the fulfillment of life. And these different areas of Vaikuṇṭha are all happy. But as Srila Guru Maharaj points out, that there is a science to the upper world. And how will we measure happiness? How will we measure the quality and quantity of happiness? And then Srila Guru Maharaj, in giving some analogy, some example, shows that there are those who are expert in that. And the types of rasa, the types of ecstasy and joy one gets as a servant, or as simply being near the Lord, simply being near the Lord. A stone in Vaikuṇṭha, everything is conscious. A stone is near the Lord. So happy that there, everything is conscious. The trees, but the trees also, some dasya, there's some serving. Oh, my fruits, I want them to serve the Lord. Beautiful things. But then there also comes, so there's a general side, then a serving side. We want to serve the Lord. We have the capacity, we will render service. Then add to that, then another group, they're also friendly as well. They got some relationship with Kṛṣṇa. They play together. And then in this, then the next section, so they've got, each one has got some extra of these definitions, these categories of rasa. So rasa, joy, ecstasy, this is the whole journey of joy. Mm-hmm. And we've been told we have a program tomorrow, is it? With the title Journey of Joy.
Next weekend.
Oh, next weekend. Oh, I wrote it down for tomorrow. I didn't know it was. Oh, well, I was given Saturday and Sunday, not the dates, I think. So, okay, have to wait for that. The Journey of Joy is next Saturday. I'll move that on my calendar. But it's the journey of joy. Joy, more joy, etc. And so, anyway, this way, our journey to the planets, of joy, the planets of faith, then this journey has been given to us here in Upadeśāmṛta. So do not neglect verse 1, verse 2, verse 3, verse 4, verse 5, verse 6, verse 7, or verse 8 when we consider verse 9, because now we're getting some understanding where all of this, don't do this, don't do this, do this, do this, do associate with the devotees, do come, search out, serve the devotees. Don't see any fault in the devotees. Where is this taking us? It's giving us this journey to the Vaikuṇṭha. It's giving us this journey more than Vaikuṇṭha, more than general Vaikuṇṭha. It's giving us this journey in the spiritual world, in a rocket ship to Vṛndāvan, to Govardhan, to Rādhā Kuṇḍa. Very high topics, and only it is possible by the connection of Gauranga Mahaprabhu. And how do we have that connection with Gauranga Mahaprabhu? Through the disciplic succession, through the current which is coming down. Through that current. Like we've got so many electric things in everyone's home these days, and you've got wiring, you've got all this. But it must be connected to the generator. And so this is the parampara, this is the descending current, the current coming from the generator of Mahaprabhu is not just an ordinary current. It is the current of this supreme ecstasy, supreme joy, which the heart will be supremely overflowing with ever new ecstasy and joy, overflowing, not limited. And this, today we've got some idea of the gradation in that upper world. Not just our life is meant for floating or for working hard or for suffering. Our life is meant for giving. And by giving, we get joy. And then the quality then of our giving, we need to then see, because the more quality of our giving, the more quality of the joy. And in the beginning, at least, until we've got caught by that upflowing current, then we have to be little conscious of it, very conscious of what we are doing, discriminate all the way, and make our life successful by discriminating how, following the guidelines that have been given by Rupa Goswami, by Mahaprabhu, and by our guardians who are connected directly with that current. And we all want joy, so let us look in the right place and not be foolish, not think, oh, it's easier to go to the, this is not for you, Jagannath Prabhu, this is general way. It's easier to go to the pub, have a few drinks, and then I'll be happy, than it is to, chant Hare Krishna and serve the devotees in the temple, washing the pots. Jagannath was a great wash potter. He's got a wash potting certificate from Veera Govinda. Hare Krishna.
We have another lovely question, this time from Priya Nanandidi.
Yes. How can I serve? My question is, how can I serve?
He's saying, how does geographical Rādhā Kuṇḍa relate with the conscious Rādhā Kuṇḍa? We hear that the conscious aspect is higher, but still we consider ourselves lucky when we visit it during parikrama in India.
Yes. Okay. And this is also a sobering and happy question, because sobering means we cannot imagine, Rādhā Kuṇḍa. So this means a sober person is not living in imagination. One who's gone down to the pub and had his drinks is living in imagination. They're living, in another world. So sobering, because, we can't imagine Rādhā Kuṇḍa. It's beyond our imagination. And so that is sobering. That is so far from us. And we have to admit we are not in the stage of uninterrupted devotional service in this life. We've got gaps. We've got things where, our own separate interest, our own thinking is coming in. And we have to go through so many stages in order that we can be pure enough to be considered to come to Vaikuṇṭha, what to speak of Rādhā Kuṇḍa. So we have got the grace of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu through the Vaishnavas, through the devotees. Mahaprabhu himself discovered Rādhā Kuṇḍa. He discovered Rādhā Kuṇḍa, and when Mahaprabhu went to Vṛndāvan, he is Radha Krishna combined. When he went to Vṛndāvan, you can say there are so many places there Mahaprabhu is visiting, but he specifically searched for Rādhā Kuṇḍa and could not find. He asked everybody, nobody knows where is Rādhā Kuṇḍa. Well, Rādhā Kuṇḍa, we heard about it, but where is it? But Mahaprabhu, Radha Krishna, discovered the location of Rādhā Kuṇḍa here. And he is in ecstasy, bathing in the middle of some pond in the middle of a rice field. And we already know, people who saw Mahaprabhu, they couldn't really understand what he's doing. Even his devotees sometimes wonder, what's Mahaprabhu doing? What's he thinking? Thing like this. So Mahaprabhu, he was bathing in some water in the rice field and in ecstasy, and he's so happy. So what is he seeing and feeling in the middle of a rice field? I expect there's a little mud in there too. And all of this taking place. And then Mahaprabhu, he gave the direction. This is Rādhā Kuṇḍa. And then the devotees, they developed Rādhā Kuṇḍa. And who developed Rādhā Kuṇḍa? Presently, the prayojana, the destination, the topmost destination, Acharya Raghunath Das Goswami was given that service through Mahaprabhu again to reveal that. And that's a whole transaction that came through the Goswamis to Raghunath Das Goswami. But Mahaprabhu discovered Rādhā Kuṇḍa. So today, geographically, we have our geography. And then we have Rādhā Kuṇḍa, which has been expanded by Raghunath Das Goswami, and with actually Jiva Goswami doing a lot of the assistance in a practical way for revealing Rādhā Kuṇḍa and the next door, Shyama Kuṇḍa, that we go to on pilgrimage. So Mahaprabhu, he wanted that the lost places of pilgrimage of Vṛndāvan, and Vṛndāvan means Govardhan, etc., will be revealed, and he gave that service to Rupa Goswami, to Sanatana Goswami, and to others to reveal and re-establish these lost places. Mahaprabhu himself re-established Rādhā Kuṇḍa and Shyama Kuṇḍa. So when we go there, we will understand, we are seeing rocks and we are seeing water, etc. But this is the covering of what is beneath. We know we can't see spiritually what is there. We may feel something, some feeling may come. But that feeling is, as Gurudev said, sitting at a table like this, he said, if I put my hand over the table and there's a fire underneath, I can feel something of that warmth. But I can't see the fire, but we are feeling something there. So we can say that we have come to where Rādhā Kuṇḍa is, but we can't see it. And we must be very careful, because if we are walking somewhere and there are things we can't see which are very valuable, we don't want to cause any offense or do anything wrong. So when we come to Rādhā Kuṇḍa on pilgrimage, we must come there very carefully. And this is why we come first to Raghunath Das Goswami. His Samadhi Mandir is there, his Bhajan Kutir is there. And we take permission from him to come, and very carefully we come and we take some drops of water on our head, knowing there's something very valuable here. And we are having this added connection with Rādhā Kuṇḍa and reminder of Rupa Goswami's verses. Rupa Goswami's revealing what's the topmost aspiration. And then we can think, so what is the consciousness of those who are actually on the banks of Rādhā Kuṇḍa here beneath the covering? And in the revealed scriptures for those who are liberated, not for us, there are descriptions of Rādhā Kuṇḍa and what is actually there. Groves of emerald, one grove of emerald, one grove of this, and the bridge between Shyama Kuṇḍa and Rādhā Kuṇḍa, which is made of jewels and all kinds of desire trees and things. And we have to admit that we don't see that. But when we know we are walking in this area, we have to be very careful and to know this is our ideal, and actually we keep that on our head and not under our feet. And this is why Vṛndāvan we are recommended to stay for only 3 nights in general. We do our pilgrimage with devotees and stay carefully under the shelter of the devotees. It's not our playground for our idea of enjoyment, this, that, and the other. It's a place of service. And in these instances, when we go on parikrama, we are serving our gurus and the holy Dham by doing parikrama as given regulation by them. And if we have actually appointed service, then we are able to stay longer in such places, but only very carefully, and very carefully means under the guidance of Guru Maharaj and Gurudev, that standard, those who reside in that highest place. And Guru Maharaj said about Rādhā Kuṇḍa that our seva, we will, Guru Maharaj foreseeing the ashram that will come there, and describing to Gurudev that we will have an ashram beside Govardhan Hill, near Govardhan, near, not exactly at the hill, just beside. And every morning, the residents of the ashram will walk to Kuṣam Sarovar. They'll pick flowers. It is very famous for the flowers that time. The flowers, the lady servitors, the gopis, they will collect flowers every morning in Kuṣam Sarovar, and then take those flowers to Rādhā Kuṇḍa and give them to the gopis who are qualified to make the garlands, and everyone knows who makes garlands. Somebody has to teach you how to make garlands, and there are devotees who can make very beautiful garlands. So those devotees who are chosen by others who know how to make garlands, Lalita, for instance, they'll choose. They'll say, oh, she's very good, she can make it. So they have the special garland makers there, but they need the flowers. So Guru Maharaj said, the residents, when they're coming to Govardhan, they will go to Kuṣam Sarovar, pick flowers, take them to Rādhā Kuṇḍa and give to those who are making the garlands, and then come back. That's not to stay. We've done our service, and now we come back to the shelter of Giriraj at our ashram. So this is very sweet expression of our carefulness in being at Rādhā Kuṇḍa, because although we cannot see, there are very special things taking place there. And there are those who can see, like Raghunath Das Goswami. Question here with a microphone. Maybe put the microphone nearer, though. That's a long way from her mouth.
Oh, you need to hold the microphone.
Right up to you.
Yeah, so the last paragraph, just above the questions, there's a few sentences about Krishna's wholesale openness is found only amongst the confidential section that is within Radharani and her own special group. She approaches to serve Kṛṣṇa, and Kṛṣṇa, with his full-fledged love, comes to cooperate with her service there at Rādhā Kuṇḍa. So my question is, when Devashish quotes Gurudev as saying that if anyone stays in this line of Guru Maharaj, then they must get service in the line of Rupa Manjari. Can you speak and share something about that?
Well, I think you've shared one of those revelations from Guru Maharaj. You shared one of those revelations that come from our masters. That Srila Gurudev knows that anyone who faithfully will serve Guru Maharaj has that connection of service. Are we okay?
Yes, okay. Just they didn't actually hear the question.
Oh, they couldn't hear the question. Well, the question was, the last paragraph before the questions, which is obviously on the last sheet almost of today's notes. Then Anukrishna, she read the part where Kṛṣṇa shows his fullness. It was from there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Kṛṣṇa shows his fullness. And this, by the way, these are the words of Guru Maharaj, Srila Maharaj. Kṛṣṇa shows his fullness in accepting service. Okay, his fullness in accepting service only in Rādhā Kuṇḍa. Now that may sound very like provincial, but Kṛṣṇa, remember, is fuller, most full in everything, with this infinite amount. So this infinite fullness, he only accepting service only in Rādhā Kuṇḍa. But Kṛṣṇa's wholesale openness is found only amongst the most confidential section. That is, with Radharani and her own special group. she approaches to serve Kṛṣṇa there, and Kṛṣṇa, with his full-fledged love, comes to cooperate with her service there at Rādhā Kuṇḍa. And honestly, these phrases are just worshipable to us. But Anu Kṛṣṇa, she asked that, she mentioned, Devashish Prabhu pointed out, said that Guru Maharaj had told that who is engaged, is it Guru Maharaj told?
Yes.
Is it? Guru Maharaj told that those who are engaged in the line of Rupa Goswami, then they must have that opportunity to enter such high pastimes, because Rupa Goswami is Rupa Manjari in the Rādhā Kṛṣṇa Lila. There is a parallel between Radha and Krishna's pastimes and Radha and Krishna as Mahaprabhu's pastimes. And so it is not one is first and one is later. They're both eternal, and sometimes showing first and later, like this in this world, because Krishna shows his Leela, and then Mahaprabhu comes to say, here, entrance to this Leela is possible. Listen to what I have to say. Chant Hare Krishna with full heart, engage in service attitude, and honor all the Vaishnavas, get connection through service through the Vaishnavas. And Rupa Goswami, he is in Mahaprabhu's Leela, but she, Rupa Manjari, in Radha Krishna's Leela. So we are in the Rupa Nuga Sampradaya. The very author of this is Rupa Manjari, is Rupa Goswami. And so we are getting instruction and direction right from a servitor at Rādhā Kuṇḍa who knows very well about Rādhā Kuṇḍa. It's actually, to use Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, one of his words he uses, and which we hear in Italy a lot, chamatkara. Chamatkara means stupefacente, which English has some kind of translation as amazing. It is very amazing, very rare, very valuable. But this is a hint of what we've come to in our devotional life. And actually, Priyanana's question does make us sober, that where are we and where is Rādhā Kuṇḍa? It kind of wakes us up that we've got a journey to take. We can't just sit back and imagine chanting the beads and falling asleep and thinking we're in Rādhā Kuṇḍa. We've definitely got a journey to go on, and we must be very careful on that journey. And on pilgrimage, we must be very careful. And as I just did say, but I can repeat, that Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, I'd be happy to pick up the actual quote, but is saying that it is not possible for us to enter that plane at all, not even a touch of it, without Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, without being in the line of worshippers, worshipping Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, serving Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That it is only by his connection. He is Mahavadanyaya, the most merciful, to take the lowest to the highest. Now we have a little idea of the lowest, some touch of that we have, but the highest, and that is being explained by Rupa Goswami here in Upadeśāmṛta. So today we're seeing the planes, the planets, the areas, different gradation of the spiritual world. It is not static, but it's through Mahaprabhu that we have any access to all of this. And it is by the grace of the devotees who have given us some understanding, like cleaning our eyes, to open our eyes, that such prospect exists. This is the prospect of the Jiva soul now with Mahaprabhu's gift of divine love through the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra and his devotees. This has come on our lap somehow. It's come to us. Some may have been searching very hard for such things, and some it has come by chance got on the wrong bus. Some got on the wrong bus and came to the mat, literally. But Kṛṣṇa got them on the wrong bus. They came to the mat and become very good brahmachari. We have some sample like this in Navadip. They got on the bus to go elsewhere, but instead the bus brought them over Gauranga Setu. They saw our beautiful temple. Oh, we must go there. That's my home. And they came. So we're on the right bus right now. And just try to not get off at any bus stop on the way. Yes.
Maharaj, as you were describing the glories of Shri Rādhā Kuṇḍa, Nazar's question came through, so you touched on it already, but
Okay.
to some extent. But he's asking, Govardhan Lila is well described in Srimad Bhagavatam, but what is Rādhā Kuṇḍa? Is it described in Srimad Bhagavatam? What pastimes are happening there?
Okay, so Nazar. We also touched on the fact that some books are written for the actual liberated persons. So the actual pastimes that take place there, any detail about those pastimes, then those details, I will have to wait until we are qualified. We'll always think we're unqualified, by the way, and probably we will always will be unqualified in this lifetime. But the detail of that, we should not try to enter into beyond what has been given by Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Gurudev, and Srila Prabhupada. And Srila Prabhupada has very mercifully, he's Nityananda empowered, Shaktivesh avatar of Nityananda, as Guru Maharaj told. This is not a small statement by somebody who's guessing something. This is from up to down. And Srila Prabhupada very mercifully has given the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam the detail, some description of the pastimes of Kṛṣṇa in Vṛndāvan, in Govardhan, in Rādhā Kuṇḍa. He's given description there very carefully and guardedly. So we must read from the beginning those books. But those books are called the Kṛṣṇa book or the Kṛṣṇa books, if you've got them in 3 volumes. Sometimes they're printed in 3 volumes. With the Kṛṣṇa books. And there he's given the 10th canto with the protection and stress that Kṛṣṇa is Kṛṣṇa. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And this is why we are recommended to read Srimad Bhagavatam from verse 1, canto 1, chapter 1, all the way through. So by the time we get to the 10th canto, really we know Kṛṣṇa is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And we're not slightest anything else in our heart. And then when we come to see or hear about any Leela in Vṛndāvan, we will be safe. But always we'll be careful about our approach to everything. So Srila Prabhupada mercifully gave the 10th canto early in his time in the West because he knows that everyone's going to want to know, like you are asking, something of what is Kṛṣṇa Leela. We hear it's wonderful, what is it? But we must know it from a devotee, and from a devotee who knows where we are. He's giving this for us all over the world, but giving this protection, the caution. And so we must understand or hear the Kṛṣṇa Leela from Srila Prabhupada's 10th canto, which is the Kṛṣṇa books. And of course, from Srila Guru Maharaj, from Srila Gurudev, from Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. This channel is our channel, and we must, not only our channel, this is the channel that Gauranga Mahaprabhu is presenting into the world. And there we will be safe, but we still must keep ourselves safe by not imagining anything, just accept everything and just, oh, we're being given, someone's drilled a hole through the ceiling, and now I get a look through, oh my goodness, what's going on up there? But I'm down here. We're getting a little window to the upper world. And by that, and by hearing from the proper channel, which is what we just described, then that will also be relishable. And after all, 24 hours a day, Rupa Goswami just said, the essence of all advice is 24 hours a day. We should engage our tongue and mind in chanting the holy names of the Lord, the glories of the Lord, his pastimes, his qualities. And so when we hear from the right source, we can say from the right source. But we must be careful in all of these topmost dealings. And still for us, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, for everybody, not just us, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he's presenting Krishna Leela, and his devotee section, which means Srila Prabhupada, Srila Gurudev, and Srila Guru Maharaj, they are all presenting us Krishna through Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Chaitanya Charitamrita, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, you will find quotations by Krishnadas Kaviraj from books that we do not read, like Ujjvala Nilamani. Please do not read these books, because we're told by our masters not to read it. We do not want to damage our future prospect. So we will take everything carefully. But Krishna, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj in Chaitanya Charitamrita has carefully presented the highest topics in his Chaitanya Charitamrita with careful guarding for us. So we are able to get some spiritual touch, some real touch of that real plane through the devotees, and specifically in this case, we can say Chaitanya Charitamrita. And again, read from verse 1, chapter 1 of Adi Leela, the first part, because Chaitanya Charitamrita is also getting ourselves firmly in firm consciousness of who is Mahaprabhu, and then who are the Panchatattva, what is Mahaprabhu Leela. And so it can be a little hard work at the beginning. Srimad Bhagavatam can be a little hard work for some sections, establishing, the whole reality of the God world. But it is for us to get our heart like firmly on the launching pad, as we were saying. And Rupa Goswami is giving us A to Z, A to Z for American speakers, but he's giving that from the very beginning, the basis of our life, and then in these 8 verses which we've read up to now with all of that, the prospect is going to the spiritual world, which these metal rockets, which are extremely gross, you see how physically asserting they are. And where are they going? And like a minuscule millimeter, not even a millimeter in the terms of the universe, etc. So let us not go to higher planets of this world and be tempted by heaven, Svarga Loka, the heaven of the Hindu heaven, which is a place of enjoyment. But let us go to the land of Vaikuṇṭha, of eternal, ever blissful, ever increasing spiritual rasa, anandam. Then joy is what we are meant to be tasting. We're not meant to be tasting the headmaster of the school's whip. We're meant to be tasting the joy of life of love with Krishna. And in my day in the school, the headmaster used to whip the kids who were not. Probably can in many countries, I don't know. Keep the children under control. But that's a certain section. Not relevant, is it? Okay, Rādhā Kuṇḍa, Shyāma Kuṇḍa, go with that. And with that happy, smiling faces. One more question, because the clock is going fast.
Wait, just something.
We need a microphone for you, and even then I might have to
Yeah.
repeat the question. We seem to have
Try and speak.
microphone challenges. Even microphones seem to have their own personality. What is it?
Okay, Hare Krishna. Sorry, just something you said I missed. I want to check. You said Rādhā Kuṇḍa was discovered and established by Mahaprabhu, but what you said about what Radhanath Das Goswami did, I missed it.
Oh, so yes. So the question was, did it come through clearly? The question was that Mahaprabhu discovered where is Rādhā Kuṇḍa, and just want a clarification that Raghunath Das Goswami developed Rādhā Kuṇḍa. So it was a rice field. It was some, you can say, to the eye, insignificant water in maybe a pond, but in a rice field somewhere, just in the rice field. It's a rice growing area. And so Mahaprabhu located that place, and oh, this is Rādhā Kuṇḍa, and he's dancing and chanting and throwing the water over him. But it's Raghunath Das who's given that savor of revealing it. In other words, so it's dug out, and then the steps are put around the side. In India, you know, if you go to holy place, often there's a lake there, many famous lakes, Govardhan Hill and others, and they exist. But when they are nicely put with steps and made with trees around everything, then it is much clearer as a pilgrimage place, and people will come, and they will also give respect when they see the notices, which should more or less should be there. Don't put your body in this water. This is holy water, like that. So yes, but Raghunath Das, he was very separated from material things. So he oversaw everything, but it was the younger devotees, because he was a little older at that time, and headed by Jiva Goswami, I understand, who did much of the practical development of the Kuṇḍa. So now, if you go on pilgrimage with devotees to Rādhā Kuṇḍa, you see it's developed. It's not just some water in a rice field. It has got steps all around. It's very beautiful. And temples around. Govardhan Shilas in different temples. The tongue, the Jiva temple, the tongue of Govardhan temple is nearby. Sangam, between where Radha and Kṛṣṇa meet. Now we are starting to do a parikrama of the Kuṇḍa. Okay, I know I spoke too long and too fast. Beautiful. By the way, if you haven't thought about it yet, look how nicely, not only will the devotees send whoever wants one, send a free copy of Upadeśāmṛta, they've wrapped it up with their devotional hands and heart, with this, and even put a beautiful little message inside.
Oh,
This is a gift from our hearts to you, and with a prayer to you. Please read this book again and again. Truly, your greatest fortune awaits. From the devotees of Sri Chaitanya Saraswati London. Jai. So it's all in the packaging, isn't it? That's what they say today. But here you are, beautifully packaged by hand with love, as well as the book. Just see.
Actually, Priya Bhakta Prabhu has a comment in the chat. Maybe you can.
Hare Krishna.
okay. He says, Gurudev took me by the hand once to show me a kund at my Kali, Kolkata. He was describing as we walked pure marble pillars, swans, lotus flowers, much more. We stopped in front of a puddle with slime. And he said, "What do you think, Prabhu?"
And Priya Bhakti Prabhu, I think I know exactly where you're talking about. I mean, I know Koikali, but I think I know the puddle of slime that you were standing beside. And there you have, this is Priya Bhakti Prabhu, directly with Srila Gurudev, taking him by the hand and showing him this. Gurudev's vision of what we see and what is there. This is a little helpful, a little hint for us about what we see and what is there is quite different. And there are those who've really had some spark of revelation and they've seen things and they have to say, I have seen. This is also recorded in Chaitanya Charitamrita. So not what is before our eye, but there is so much more that is there, which is why we must tread carefully in the devotional world. We must tread carefully in the devotional world. All right, I know I've gone over time, so please excuse me.
Srila Bhakti Ranjan Madhusudan Maharaj.
The Upadeśāmṛta ki jai, Srila Rupa Goswami ki jai, and those who are opening our eyes to our right at this time, you can say, because Kṛṣṇa has given us our birth now with this connection with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, with Rupa Goswami, and with this guidance. Now we just need to be the students, the good students. We have the best guides, as Guru Maharaj pointed out, something we were reading just now, very recently. We've got the best guides. If we don't follow their guidance, then it's not the fault of the guide, it's us. So we need to try to be good students by heart. Stop.
We don't want you to stop.
Any
Stop.
additions by the course coordinator, Kelly
Well, I mean,
Kadambanana?
Who can add anything to what Maharaj has said? It's like he said, absolutely chamatkar, astonishing, and I think that expression. Who could we tell and who would believe it? We hear of these things like our highest prospect. It's given to us in such a carefully protected way, but then we hear of little glimpses of the upper world and the savor that's going on there, and it's almost it's impossible for us to conceive of, but by the inconceivable mercy of the Lord, he's actually wanting to give us that connection, and at the same time, because we're not qualified, he's giving such precise and careful instruction and, like you're saying, affectionate guidance, affectionate instruction, so that we, the little tiny fallen souls, can make sure that if we follow these simple things, we actually, the destination is assured. And it's just simply astonishing, utterly astonishing. And we're supremely, like he was saying, we just want to walk on our heads and try to never leave this track, try to be mindful of all of the guidelines that are given in Upadeśāmṛta, so that we can stay in the association of those that have connection with the upper world and who are able to also somehow give us connection, the servant of the servant of the servant of the servant. Praying to you all to stay together and help us on the journey. And like Guru Maharaj says, we don't actually need to worry about the result when the process is so sweet being together. And just a reminder, the homework, we would love to hear answers to questions, like, or if there's anything that you want to share It's always so much richer when we hear what's in the heart of the devotees, what has touched them. So please feel very welcome to share with us. But if there's anything that comes up in the homework, please do the homework. We're here to assist or take assistance of those that can actually give proper guidance. So Srila Bhakti-Ranja Madhusudan Maharaj ki jai.
Jai.
Srila Gurudev ki jai.
Jai.
Srila Guru Maharaj ki jai.
Jai.
Srila Rupa Goswami ki jai.
Jai.
Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Raj Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
A whole Rupanuga Guru Varga.
Jai.
Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai. Our glorious, exalted senior Vaishnavas we can see online there, and to everybody present, past and future. Ki
Jai.
Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Acharya Vrinda ki jai.
Jai.
Tagore Premanande Hari
Hari Bo.
Jai.
Yes, and all
Sachima ki
the
jai.
team that make this possible, ki jai.
Jai.
And really, and you all make it possible at home and here in our classroom. They're really making this institute live up to its educational status. Topmost education from the topmost zone of Rupa Goswami. Okay, we can see you. If we can't see you, you've got your camera turned off, but we can see your names, we can see you there. All smiling faces very happily and doing seva while listening. You see Subhasini, she's making something for the deities while she's listening. Jai.
And Shanti Moy and Vivekī.
And Shanti Moy, yes, okay. Got to be careful about naming everybody because we're going to miss people out. But yes, wonderful.
And Sri Ramanavami ki jai.
Huh?
Sri Ramanavami.
Oh,
Ram Navami.
oh, my goodness. Today, Sri Ram Navami. We did gently touch on it before, but we did have a Ram Navami program this morning here in the temple, and the cooks are having a Ram Navami extra seva today because they're making something extra, which I did ask them, how are you going to make something extra when every day is a fest, when every day is a feast and a festival in London, Chaitanya Samsam. So we look forward to that. But we did have a morning Ram Navami program before meeting with you today. And please, you also can see in affectionate guidance the revealed truth and in various places, Ramachandra's a perfect example of dharma, doing duty, following the scripture. And then beyond that, what is the Kṛṣṇa conception? And then our journey in that upper world. Because Guru Maharaj and Guru is always bringing us to Kṛṣṇa conception final. So yes, we can start another class right now, but it's been just over 1 hour we've been with you. 1 hour and a few seconds. So we can give you all a break. And we appreciate your tenacity of staying with us throughout.
We have just a quick reminder.
A quick reminder.
That no class this coming Monday because it will be Srila Gurudev's holy disappearance.
Oh, yes.
So then,
Okay. Well, I presume you can hear Kelly okay? Kelly Kadamba, David Assi, okay. But as you know, or as I need a reminder, there is no Upadeśāmṛta class on Saturday and Sunday, the weekend, because of programs that are running here. And on Monday, this coming Monday, is Srila Gurudev, Srila Bhaktisandar Govindadev Goswami Maharaj's disappearance day, which of course is a very sad day to remember in one sense, but it is the traditional, one of the traditional days where we can focus on his qualities and his nature, everything, his glories. And so Monday we'll be having, as probably everywhere in the world where you can do, then we'll be having a special program in the temple here on Monday. So there won't be an Upadeśāmṛta class because we can't do two things at the same time, only one body. But we'll be back on Tuesday. See you then.
did I go?
Jai. Hari Hari Bol. Patari Acha Kripa Sindhu.
Hare